Hello, good evening. Welcome and welcome to the next or the second event, the second webinar. After the last one was a great success. आज आपण परत again something very close to NEP 2020, something that has to do much with the mind, understanding the mind, not only of your student, but tomorrow as a teacher, how you can implement all of this in your classroom is something that we'll be learning about today. तर आज आपल्या बरोबर सुकृत सर आहेत आणि ही विल बी टेकिंग अप द सेशन. सर, सुकृत सर तुम्ही आहात? आवाज ऐकू येतोय?
हो, आहे मी. माझा आवाज येतोय तुम्हाला?
यस, येतोय सर. येतोय मॅडम.
हॅलो.
Yes, sir. I think just a second. एकच सेकंड. Yes, sir. Ata, I've given you the co-host rights. Maybe then you can use the screen to share.
Okay.
Great. आपण एक 5 मिनिटं थांबूया का? We'll just wait for a couple of others to join in and then start. Would that be okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, sir. I think now that it's time, it's 5:32 already. Maybe if we are good to go, आता session start करूया. Maybe as and when we'll have the other participants join in. So welcome to all the teachers for today's session. I'm sure like the last time, it was a very rich session that we had day before yesterday, and I'm sure today again there'll be a lot that you'll be taking away from today's session. Please, there's just one small request that तुम्हाला message मध्ये पण आम्ही mention केलंय की you will be receiving certificates. It will just take about 2 days after the webinar. तुम्हाला टीचर टॉक ॲपचं लिंक आय मीन चॅट बॉक्स मध्ये टुवर्ड्स द एंड ऑफ द सेशन आम्ही पोस्ट करत जाऊ. त्या लिंकनी तुम्ही ॲप डाउनलोड करू शकता अँड विदिन 2 days विल बी रिसिव्हिंग युअर सर्टिफिकेट्स. तर नक्कीच ॲप डाउनलोड करा. ॲट द सेम टाइम देर आर इव्हेंट्स लाईन्ड अप फ्रॉम टुमॉरो अगेन फुल मंथ 28 मे पर्यंत. जसं आज मनशक्तीचं माइंड जिमचं सेशन आहे, तसंच मनशक्तीचे टीचर एम्पॉवरमेंट सेशन्स, देर आर 3 सेशन्स विच इज हॅपनिंग अगेन इन द मंथ ऑफ मे. तर तुम्हाला आम्ही ते लिंकही शेअर करू, तर थ्रू दॅट लिंक यू कॅन रजिस्टर फॉर द अदर इव्हेंट्स एज वेल. And all of these events, all of these webinars are targeted towards one major goal, which is NEP 2020. It might not be very educational, but it is going to upgrade and upskill you with all the needful that you need to have a very enriching experience for you as a teacher and for the child who sits in your classroom. Yeah, so welcome Sukrut sir, and we're really grateful for having you today. Um, a small introduction, I wouldn't say it is small. There's so much that he's done, as we've already seen the poster where he's from IIM Lucknow. So just reading out a little की आज आपले फॅसिलिटेटर कोण आहेत आणि a little about him. Sukrut sir is I mean, he has communication engineer from Mumbai University and a management graduate at the Indian Institute of Management, which is IIM Lucknow. After working in Bangalore in the field of internet and advertising in a startup, he turned towards the pursuit of knowledge at Manashakti. At Manashakti, he looks after the management and the newly launched project, which is Mind Gym. And it's a very small request that after today's session, please go check out Manashakti's website, because Mind Gym is something that your children and your classroom surely needs. At Manashakti, he looks after the management of Mind Gym as well as the digitization and IT related projects such as the app development and website development. He takes up a lot of sessions, not only for teachers and adults, but at the same time, he takes it up for parents and for students and for the other stakeholders in the entire upbringing of a child and in the stream of education. So, all to you, sir. Thank you so much for coming and supporting our teachers today.
Thank you for your kind introduction, ma'am. So let me start the topic.
Sure, sir.
Thank you. So I'll share my screen with all of you.
Oh, great. Okay.
So our topic today is train your brain, change your mind. So we are going to look at what is the mind, what is the brain, how do you actually train your brain, what is the science behind that, and what we have done at Manashakti Mind Gym. So that will also tell us what is the science behind all of these things and how do we measure the power of the mind, which we thought was not possible at all, right? How do we measure the mind? So let me start off by saying that we cannot measure the mind, but we can measure the effect of the mind on the body. So that's how we are going to proceed with this. So let me go to the next slide. So let us look at mind and brain. What is the definition of mind? You might have heard about a scientist called Pavlov. He's a famous Russian scientist. He gave the definition of mind as the link between the subject and the object. There is an object, there is a subject, and a link between that. That is the mind, according to Pavlov. Manashakti's founder, Swami Vijnanananda, he made use of this definition and Einstein's definition of matter, which states that no matter can go beyond the speed of light. प्रकाश वेगाच्या पलीकडे कुठल्याही जड वस्तू जाऊ शकत नाही. Then that which transcends the speed of light is non-matter, which signifies the capricious nature of the mind. So mind is not stable. It wants to go here and there. We have to take efforts to stabilize it. Now there is a theory of cognition also, because we are looking at mind and brain. So we have to look at the Santiago theory of cognition, which states that mind is not a thing, but it is a process. The process of cognition, which is identified with the process of life. The brain is a specific structure through which this process operates. The relationship between mind and brain, therefore, is one between process and structure. This is very important because the brain is an organ. It's the most important organ in the human body. But the mind is a process. So mind does not necessarily need a brain. The brain is not necessary for the mind to exist. For example, bacteria or plant has no brain as such. It doesn't have a different organ called as a brain. It has a nervous system inside it, but it does not have a brain, but it has a mind. The simplest organisms are capable of perception and cognition. So every person has a mind, every human being has a brain also. So even though brain is not necessary, but still in a human being, the brain is the most important organ. And we have to look at how we can regulate the brain, how we can develop the brain. If we are able to do that, then automatically people will become more successful, more happy in their lives. They will have lesser problems in their lives. So let's look at the brain also now, mind and brain. The human brain. So if you look at the anatomy of the human brain, it's a triune brain. It has three parts. The first part is the basal ganglia, which is the R complex. The second part is the limbic cortex, and the third is the neocortex. The R complex is the reptilian brain. R stands for reptilian, reptiles, sarpatnare prani. So which have either the fight or flight response. If they have any stress or any problem or anything, any issue, then they will either fight with that or they will flight, which means that they will run away from that. For example, a lion or a tiger, what it does, he will fight, whereas a deer, it will run away. So it is there in everyone's body, right? From evolution, we have that portion of the brain, which is the very basic brain. But mammals develop the limbic system, and we also have that, which is social or emotional. It has emotions, it has humanity, it has pity. All those are emotions are there in the limbic system. It's a system. It has different organs like thalamus, hypothalamus, amygdala, and so on. So that is the limbic system. And then there is the neocortex, which, as you can see, it is the biggest portion in the brain, which has logic and reasoning. All those logical things. If any problem is there, what I should do, think logically about that. All those things are there in the neocortex. So that is a very important development in the human being, that the human being is able to think logically. But apart from that, the limbic system is also important in human beings because the ability to understand intuitively or directly communicate with another individuals, which is very important in social life. We don't have to talk to communicate. It's through body language, it's through various gestures and so on. Or you need not even communicate through any gesture. Sometimes communication just happens. So how does that happen? That is called limbic resonance. Between two individuals, if there is a limbic resonance, then there can be a brain-to-brain or a mind-to-mind communication also. We'll look at that later on. So this is the brain basically. These are different parts of the brain. If you look at the science of brain waves, so the brain emits electric signals. They are called brain waves according to the state of mind in different frequencies. As you can see, the brain waves, different types of brain waves are there, and they have different frequencies. Frequency means cycles per second. How many times those up and downs are happening in 1 second? That is called frequency. So you can see there is alpha frequency, beta frequency, delta, theta, gamma. And these frequencies are primarily emitted in different states of our life. For example, in a very awake, focused, normal, alert kind of brainwave state, beta waves are emitted which have a frequency of 14 to 30 cycles per second. Alpha are emitted. Alpha is 9 to 13 hertz, physically and mentally relaxed, but awake, but drowsy. It's a pre-meditative state in which alpha waves are emitted. Then delta is in a deep sleep where there is a loss of bodily awareness. There are stages to sleep also. There is a REM sleep, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 sleep. So in very, very deep sleep, delta waves are emitted, which is below 4 cycles per second. And theta is in reduced consciousness, deep meditation, dreams, light sleep, REM sleep, or creative state of mind. In all those, a theta wave is emitted, whereas gamma is heightened perception, 30 hertz and above. Apart from this, there is one other frequency that's called SMR, sensory motor response, which has a frequency of 13 to 14 cycles per second, which is useful for treating ADHD, which is called attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, which is increasing in students these days. If you can observe that students cannot sit in one place, they want to get up or do something like quarrel with someone, or they just cannot focus on what the teacher is teaching. That can be an early sign of hyperactivity. So, or there is an attention deficit. Both are related. There could be an attention deficit or hyperactivity. So, what is there? Whether it is a disorder or it is just an initial stage, that can be detected at Manashakti using different tests that we have. But this SMR response is useful for treating this ADHD. We'll look at how to do that. So now let's come to what to do with all of these brain waves, right? The brain must be in a concentrated state of mind, in a focused state of mind. If you cannot focus, then there is no use only. You cannot achieve anything just to hard work, like I've said here. Even now also, you are in a state of concentration. If you are paying attention to what I'm saying and not getting distracted by other things at your home or whatever is going on, then you are currently also in concentrated state of mind. Whether you are there in that or not, that you have to judge. But that is essential, because whatever I'm talking, if you have to totally grasp that, then you have to focus on what I'm saying. And same goes for students also. And so same goes in our work life also, that you have to focus on your work, right? So more than hard work, it is important to do concentrated work that is without distractions. For example, let me give you an analogy. There is a lamp, right? And there is a big room, big dark room is there, and you have a lamp with you. So where are you taking that lamp? Into which corner or in the center of the room, right? According to that, that portion only gets highlighted. And let's say there are different tiles on that room. Those tiles signify your emotions or your thoughts, whether it's fear, anger, or courage. All these emotions are there. So where are you taking your lamp? That is up to your mind, and you have to focus on that. For example, there could be a tile called your goal in life, your ultimate goal in life, what you want to achieve in your life. Or it could be a short-term goal. If your lamp is not going there and it is going into some entertainment like TV or mobile phone or whatever, or movies, then for that period, your focus is going to be on the movie, because you will remember each and everything in that movie. That means you are focused in that movie. It doesn't mean that you are unable to focus, but you are not able to focus on your goal. So how do you take your lamp to your goal, right? That is very important. And how do you stay there? So beta waves are primarily emitted in a concentrated state of mind. So this covers the importance of concentration. Now let's go to the next parameter, which is also important. And that parameter is meditation or inner relaxation. Let's call it simply, in a very simple way, inner relaxation. So peace of mind is essential for emotional self-control, leadership, personality development. If your mind cannot be at peace, if you have to go into a high state and again go into a low state. Otherwise, if you stay in the high state, for the entire duration of your activity and you are not able to switch back, then people go into emotions because your limbic system, it gets activated. So you have to learn how to achieve peace of mind. And for that you need a daily practice of meditation. Meditation in Hindi or Marathi or in Sanskrit, it's called dhyana. So dhyan means dhi adhik no, dhyana. So dhi means buddhi, whereas no means no. So what you have to do in meditation, you have to stop your intellect slowly during meditation. And that is the essence of yoga, which is chitta vritti nirodha. Chitta vritti means our consciousness, it has a nature to get distracted and go here and there, to focus on different problems which are not necessary to be thought about. What has happened in the past, that's not important. What is important is not even the future, but what I am currently going to do to achieve the future. That is the important thing. So you have to stop your intellect first, to go into a zero state, only then you will be able to focus. So concentration and meditation are both linked. If you are able to concentrate well, only then you will be able to achieve inner relaxation. And if you do a practice of inner relaxation, slowly you will see that your concentration levels will also increase. So alpha, theta, delta waves are important for detecting your inner relaxation, especially when your alpha becomes relaxed, which we call as alpha shanti. Alpha shanta javela hote. So in that, what happens is you go into a meditative state. There, the theta delta waves are more. It's similar to sleep, but not exactly sleep, because in sleep you have to go because of daily activities, but meditation you have to do in a very aware state of mind when you are awake. So that's the difference between meditation and sleep. So now let's go to the next part. So how do we train the mind? How do we actually change the brain? So there is a method for that. It's called a biofeedback method. So what is this biofeedback method? So there we give feedback to ourselves based on concentration or meditation parameters, which are again, we can calculate those parameters through brain waves, and we have to learn through observation of that feedback. So there is a mind training section at Mind Gym, which helps in doing that, which helps in giving this feedback. How we will see that. What is the second way to do that? Because if you don't have that feedback at home, then what can you do? Then there is a flicker experiment. So what is the flicker experiment? There is an audio visual feedback, and that will help to induce frequencies that you want to induce in the brain. For example, if you want focus, you need beta waves. If you want meditation, then you want theta waves. If you want pity and sleep related problems are there, then delta waves can be induced. Similarly, for a learning, like good learning and all, alpha waves are important. For ADHD related problems, like I said, SMR frequency 13 to 14 hertz, that is important. So what do we do with that flicker experiment? The frequencies have to be seen or listened to, and then those frequencies are induced in the brain. So Manashakti has researched, and Dr. Gray Walters is one scientist who has researched it. This is called brain entrainment. So what do we do for brain entrainment? We can use the flashing pyramid. So it's an apparatus, it's a pyramid which flashes, which Manashakti has developed. So the importance of the pyramid shape is we have pyramid cells in our brain, and there is a morphological resonance when we concentrate on that. It's called shape resonance. So those cells in the brain, they get stimulated because of the pyramid, and it flashes in different frequencies like alpha frequency, beta. We can set that. But there is a sound also, like tick, 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 tick. There is a sound in different frequencies. There is that light also flashes. The second is the fire, Agni, Havan, Yajna. So that also has an alpha frequency, which is good for learning. Or you can use rainwater sound or visuals or water droplets dropping. So we have developed a PK test for that. Or you can just hear rainwater sound videos and so on. That will help in inducing those particular frequencies. This is how the flashing pyramid looks. It's available on manashakti.org, which we have developed. Manashakti has developed. It has a manual booklet which explains everything. Coming to the next part. So how do we do the mind training? What have we developed at Mind Gym? We have a couple of videos which will tell you like how we have developed these activities and how these kind of activities can help in inducing concentration or meditation, or what kind of a feedback can be given to the person. So let me just open one video. Can you see the video on the screen?
Yes, sir.
You can. So there is a person sitting here. We have attached a headset to that person and she is going to concentrate. Let's see what happens. She is concentrating. Now you can see there is a ball. If her concentration goes above a particular level, which is shown on the screen, and you have to focus on one point on the screen, then the ball will go up. And if she gets disturbed, then that ball will fall down. Now her concentration currently, it's very good. So the ball is staying up, right? So we have developed this in a very gamified kind of way because children and students, they like to learn through games, right? So I will just go forward now. So now she has reached the level 3 also. And at the end, like this is the end of the activity. And now you can see on the screen, there is a report. There is also print out an email of all the activities that are done at Mind Gym. And we give a consolidated report. So you can see what are the level completion times. She has completed 2 levels. What is the retention percentage? So as you can see, her retention 66.74%. And her concentration level was 79%, which was excellent. And her steadiness was 81.8%, as you can see. So it was by her. Now let's go to the next video, which is of meditation. So just like concentration, there is meditation. There's a meditation activity also. So if you can see, now she's sitting on one platform. There's a seat, and as she starts meditating, that entire seat will go up. And on the screen also, you will see there is a percentage. And if she's above 90%, then there is a feedback sound also, which signifies deep meditation if it goes above 90%. Slowly she is going up. I will just forward this. Again, she has gone into very high meditation, almost 100%. And let me go back. She is moving up. Now, why is she moving up? Because this is to induce a state of weightlessness. म्हणजे वजन नाही आहे असं अशी स्थिती आणण्याचा प्रयत्न आहे त्यामध्ये. So you might have heard that in the previous generation, Rishi Munis used to be there. They used to meditate and automatically start floating in the air. But this is done mechanically. Okay. And at the end, you can see there is a report also of what is her meditation, what is the peace achieved time, what is the recovery, what is the higher level peace, what is the overall performance. All those parameters are shown. Now these activities, they will help in letting that person understand his or her concentration meditation level. Even teachers can understand what is the level of concentration of their students, or parents can understand about their children, and then we can guide them about that. And the second thing is they can learn immediately that this is my concentrated state of mind, this is my good relaxed state of mind, and I have to try and achieve that. So that recognition is there, because till now you are not able to recognize. आपल्याला समजतच नव्हतं की तो व्यक्ती एकाग्रतेमध्ये ध्यानामध्ये का झोपलेला आहे. Now we can understand, we can recognize whether that person is in concentration, whether that person is in meditation, how much is that, what is the current state of mind. And if we do some solutions for 3 months, and if we come again, then we can see again what is the difference. So all these things can be done at Magic. Let me move to the next slide. Now, what are the methods of achieving concentration for success? At the end of all this, Manashakti has developed a few methods for achieving concentration for success. So like those activities are there, many other activities are also there, but these solutions are there which can be followed. And the importance of these solutions is also understood by the students better after doing these activities. जेव्हा ते हे करतात त्यावेळेला त्यांना कळतं हा हे असं करायला पाहिजे आपण, because they understand these are in a form of game, and if I have to win the home also, it is easier for parents to convince their children that you should do these concentration activities, and even the parents should get convinced. It's not just about the student, it's about the triangle of teacher, parent, and student, which we are trying to focus on. So concentration on light is one activity. that can be done every day for 12 minutes, which we call as Jyoti Dhyan. You have to focus on light and think about some positive thoughts. Think about what you want to achieve in your life, and I am going to achieve that. Reinforce that and focus on it for 12 minutes. At that time, you have to have complete darkness in the room. Only that candle should be lit. Otherwise, there should be darkness. The second is a piro brain, which has brain lobes on that. Like here, you can see there is a that lobe is the frontal lobe. Similarly, occipital, parietal, temporal, all these lobes are there on 4 different sides of the pyramid. You have to focus on those lobes for 2 minutes each, and the function of each lobe is given below the pyramid. Like frontal lobe is for personality development, decision making, and so on. Similarly, all the other lobes, and you have to focus on them for 2 minutes each, and then focus on the top of the pyramid for 2 minutes. So that makes it a 10 minutes concentration exercise. Or you can just focus for 2 minutes every day. The catch is you have to do it every day for 90 days at least to see some results. You can see at the top right, there is one like cardboard sheet, and there's a person, there is a white dot in the middle in the head. So that is the mind, or the mind signifies, or it corresponds to the nature of a person, the behavior of a person. त्याचा स्वभाव जो आहे तो improve करायचा असेल तर तो मधला dot आहे, the nature or behavior. The second dot should be the difficult subject of that person if it is in the left brain. So in the left brain we have language, history, science, and maths. In the right brain there is geography, geometry, art, and sports. So whatever be the difficult portion, that will be the second point. And the third point is if the that person has any physical ailment, like there is a pain in the knee or the stomach or the hand, whatever, then that will be the third point. So there will be a triangle which will work on the mind, brain, and body, all the three, which correspond to nature, intellect, and health. So we have to improve all the three. So on the triangle, at least 5 to 12 minutes concentration should be done, and a child, he will auto suggest to itself that I want to improve these things, and then after 90 days you will see the results. And you can do this the whole year also. So like December to February, there's a different color of the person which corresponds to the climate during that time. In the next 3 months, the color will change, and so on. So these are the methods for achieving concentration for success. Similarly, there are some methods for inner relaxation or meditation, which you can try. So the first method is dialogue with the body. The second is breathe well. The third is 16 methods for peace of mind. Or you can just do it yourself also by sitting at home for 5 minutes every day and meditate and think about nothing. You have to try that. There is another way also. Whatever thought comes to your mind, write down in a diary for 5 minutes. That also helps in stopping those thoughts slowly, because then you will come to know like what kind of thoughts are coming to my mind, right? So that is one way. Or there are some audio visuals and books that Manashakti has written. For example, dialogue with the body is there, where this is a guided meditation where the voice will have a dialogue with the different chakras in the body, which the chakras are basically the points where different cells in the body, they communicate with each other. So that is called dialogue with the body. So you have to have a dialogue. So this is for 14 plus age group. The second is breathe well. So this is just a breathing, but it's a rhythmic breathing, and slowly the rhythm goes on decreasing. The width of the rhythm, it goes on slowing down, and you have to breathe according to that. If you just do rhythmic breathing, then that has an impact on the heart rate also, and it relaxes you down, and slowly you can give away your thoughts also. So that's breathe well. And the third is 16 methods for peace of mind, which is a book written by Swami Vijnanananda, the founder of Manashakti. So there are 16 methods in that, and there is a framework also given, like which method will be applicable for whom. For example, if there is a quality of acting in that person, then there is a different method. Politicians, there is a different method. Traders, there is a different method. Teachers, there are different methods. For people who are unstable, there is a different method. For women, there is a different method. Similarly, there are different methods for every demographic group. So that book is there, and what you have to do is measure your pulse rate before the meditation and measure your pulse rate after the meditation. The pulse rate, it's there below your palm, you can feel, and you can measure the pulse rate and then note it down for 1 minute. Have a timer, note it down what is the pulse rate before, then do the meditation and then see the pulse rate after. So your pulse rate should reduce by more than 3 if that particular meditation is applicable to you, because that means that the motion in your body is stopping and you are relaxing, right? So that is the 16 method for peace of mind. There are other parameters also which we have developed in Mind Gym. So what are the other parameters to understand the impact of thoughts and emotions on the body? One parameter is called the galvanic skin resistance, GSR. And we can measure the effect of past emotions through GSR. Like you can see the photo in the center, that person, to that person's fingers we have attached a sensor, and that can sense the skin resistance, and based on that there is a LED wall here, LED lights are there, and that get lit up according to her emotions. So there are past emotions in our mind, and those have an impact on our skin. For example, there might be some experience in our past life which is bothering us. काहीतरी आपल्या भूतकाळामध्ये काहीतरी संकट आले, काहीतरी त्रास झाले, वेदना झाले, असा कुठला तरी अनुभव असेल. So that kind of a thing is that those emotions are there, and we think that they are gone, but they are having an impact through our subconscious mind on our body. So that can be measured through this GSR. The second is heart rate variability. I've just shown a picture of pulse rate, but heart rate variability is more than pulse rate. How is your heart rate varying from second to second? That can be measured through one instrument. And the pattern of that heart rate, whether it is a rhythmic sinusoidal pattern or it is not, that you can observe. The third is regulation of breathing. How do you regulate your breathing to achieve peace of mind? There's an instrument here at Mind Gym that we have developed that is there. So all these are there. Apart from that, few other solutions are also there, which students and teachers, so students have to follow these solutions and teachers have to make sure that students follow these solutions. What are these solutions? The first is the memory development method called Buddhi Vardhan. So this particular method Manashakti has developed, and the essence of memory development is that three things are important for a good memory. The first is the time of study, the second is the place of study, and the third is the situation. These three are important for memory: the time, place, and situation. You have to remember that. So what we suggest is, whatever be the difficult subject of the student, the subject in which is not getting good marks, or he has difficulty in understanding or recollecting that subject, you have to identify that subject. That will be different for every child. For some it may be maths, for some it may be English, for some it may be history, geography, whatever. That you have to identify first, one subject at a time. Then you have to follow this memory development method for 90 days, 3 months. What you have to do in that is select one time of study, like 7 to 8 a.m. or 7 to 8 p.m., whatever. I will talk about time more also. So select one time of study for 1 hour. That is the first thing. The second is one place of study in which that child should sit down. That place should not change. That posture should be good. That location should be good and conducive for studying. There should be no distractions over there. Select one place of study. And the third is, you have to select one direction of study, either east or west. If the subject is a logical or a rational subject, then select east direction, or if it's a creative subject, then select the west direction, because the magnetic field of the earth and the magnetic field of the brain, they have to be aligned. So that's why you have to select the direction. So this is called a Buddhi Vardhan method. It's a very simple method, and you can ask the students to follow this for better memory development. You can also communicate with Manashakti Research Center the time and the place, whatever they have decided on the difficult subject, for a different kind of experiment that Manashakti conducts for giving energy at a distance. That's a different experiment, but that is optional, but that can also help. It's called Duranta Prayog. So giving energy from a distance. So you can try that also in addition to the Buddhivardhan method. So along with this Buddhivardhan, what we suggest to the teachers or the parents and the children is they should go down to their parents every day, teachers once in a month, principal once in a year. And when they bow down, so this is a scientific method. It's not just going down. When they go down with gratitude, at that time, the parents should touch the difficult portions, difficult subjects point. So those points are there, which we have, which Manashakti has identified. They are there in our books also. I will just tell you here. Stop the screen sharing and tell you. Just give me 1 second. So on the left brain, this is my left brain. So on the front side of the left brain here, we have language, be English, Marathi, whatever. Just behind that, there is difficult language. Behind that, there is history over here. Behind that, here over here, there is science, and behind that over here, to the back side of the left brain, there is mathematics, Ganit. Okay, these are the different points on the brain. On the right side, on the front side, then we have geography. So right side is more imaginative or creative. So right side, we have geography, because geography requires some kind of imagination for maps and so on. Behind that, there is geometry. Behind that, so maths is different from geometry. So maths is more about algebra. The geometry is over here. Behind geometry over here, there is art. Kala gun jala म्हणतो आपण, art hai. And behind that over here, there is sports. Sports is also very important for brain development. We cannot avoid sports. So that is there on the back side of the right brain, right side of the brain. So these are the different points. Let me again share the screen. So along with the Buddhivardhan method, you can try out this brain touch experiment. So when you are touching the brain with your palm, like this, with your palm over here. So you have to touch it with this portion of the palm. Touch it to the difficult portion when they bow down. And the parents have to give their energy and good thoughts to the child that may this subject become easy. And the second thing that you can do is, if there is a problem with the behavior or nature, there is some problem, like attention deficit is or there or something, some issue is there, then what you have to do is touch the center of the brain over here, center portion of the brain, and think about give energy directed to reduce the problem in the nature. So this is there in the tradition, but here we are using science to make directed changes to the individual. So your energy will go focus to that particular problem. The second is brain massage. So brain massage means mendu vyayam, mastish ko vyayam dena hai. So how to do this brain massage? It's to be done only for 15 seconds a day. You have to ask the child to rub their hands and put them on their forehead. And then after putting on their forehead, you have to move it from front to back like this, rubbing on the head for 15 seconds. So you can ask them to do it 15 times, 1, 2, 3. And at that time in their mind, they should tell themselves that I am definitely going to achieve success. Me yash मिळवणारच. मैं यश की प्राप्ति करने ही वाला हूँ. So they have to tell that to their own selves in their mind, or they can speak it aloud also. मी यश मिळवणारच, like this. Again, so the palms have to be put over here on the frontal portion of the forehead, and then rubbing slowly go back to the back side of the brain, because there is a small brain. So you have to rub the entire brain like this. Even the fingers should touch the upper part also. like this. It should be done 15 times every day. 15 seconds only every day, not more than that. Only 15 seconds. But it should be a proper rubbing, because through rubbing heat is generated, and because of the heat there is stimulus that will be given to the brain. So that is called brain massage. Okay, that is clear. Someone has a question. Sonali madam.
Please tell me once again.
So
How to massage?
once again, you want me to repeat it?
Yes.
Brain massage. So it's simple. You have to rub the hands, so there will be heat. You can try it now also, and then put it on the forehead like this, and then you have to keep go from front to back and say me yash mevana. I am going to definitely achieve success. Like this, you have to do it just for 15 seconds every day. Okay, so that will give to the brain. It's simple. Okay, so this is a very simple and universal kind of brain massage that can be done every day by the students. You can start off with that, but Manashakti has developed a brain massage for every month exam, or according to the calendar month, even few seconds before the exam, few minutes before the exam, 90 minutes before the exam, what kind of a brain massage should be done. So you can understand the science of that, and you can also, if you are interested, it's all available in books, because you have to take the entire knowledge so that you can apply it properly. There is a book called Yasha Shikhar in Marathi. It's called Crest of Success in English. That is available on manashakti.org, which will give you details about all these things. Let me again go back. The third method is sleep learning. So this is also another technique that you may not have ever heard, but we know the importance about that through brain waves. Because in sleep, different kind of brain waves are there, which means that when we are sleeping, our brain is not sleeping. Our brain is active during our sleep. So there is a stage of sleep called REM sleep. In that we see dreams, swapna distat apnala. And in deep sleep, there is a delta state. So when a child is in deep sleep, in the sleep learning method, what you can do is, as a parent, read out the difficult portion of the subject to that child for 15-20 minutes or half an hour. And when the child gets up, you have to wake that child up early in the morning at 5 a.m., 5 or 5:30 a.m. And then the child has to read that difficult portion by himself for half an hour, 15 minutes, whatever that portion you had read out in the night. That child has to read out that portion at 5 a.m. in the morning, and then again go to sleep for 1 hour. Then this is the sleep learning method. How this helps is because there is a research that when the child is sleeping, when that person is sleeping also, if there is some suggestion given to that person, then the subconscious mind of that person is able to grasp that suggestion in a much better way, rather than teaching that particular person when he or she is awake. And this method can help that child to go beyond his or her capacities. Whatever your capacity is currently, you can see that that child is not going beyond his or her capacity. Then how we can improve the capacity of that child? It's through sleep learning method. Zopetun shikshan. It's a very important method in foreign countries. They have dedicated research and they spend lakhs of rupees for all these instruments. But in this very simple way, we can do it in India for any child, for any student. This method can be done, but parents have to spend their time for that. It's important. Parents have to read out that portion to that child. Only then that child can understand. We have developed some games also, rather than playing mobile games. Student, he or she can do this Tangram, Brainy Cube kind of games. What are these games? So on the next slide, I've just put the images of that. So in Tangram, there are 7 shapes, and those 7 shapes you have to align according to the puzzle that is given. So we have given some 400, 500 different puzzles that Manashakti has developed. And then you have to make those shapes. This helps in building your right brain capacity or your creative power, imagination power, even logical thinking also. Because it's not very easy. Like you will feel that it's very easy to do this. But when you sit down and do this, then your entire brain is engaged in that. And you have to develop your imagination power. The reason this is important is up to the age of 6, a child's creative power is used more. But after the age of 6, slowly that creative power it dwindles and slowly it lessens and lessens, and more logical and rational and memory-based learning is induced upon the child, enforced upon the child. And because of that, what happens is the child loses his creative power, and so it loses its out-of-the-box thinking, which is important when it goes and tries to work for a job, work in a job. There, if that child needs success, then he or she needs creative power also, in addition to memory and knowledge and everything. So that is why this is important. So how we can develop creativity? It's through these kind of activities. Tangram, Brainy Cube is there. In Brainy Cube, there are some neodymium magnets, 6 by 6 by 6. That's the cube. So there are 216 different magnets. They are strong magnets. We recommend it only for children above 10 years of age because they should not consume the magnets. But it's a very interesting. Like we can make different shapes in 3 dimensions using this Brainy cube. Now, these are some methods that we have discussed. There are other methods also, but these are the primary methods with which you can start off. The other is thing that you can do for those who have faith in something. They can start with chanting of mantras. For example, Gayatri Mantra or any other suitable mantra or good words are there. So there is a research behind this. So Russian scientist called Dr. Baikov in textbook of physiology, he has given kind of a theorem that if you pray or if you do a chanting of mantra just for 1 second also, 12.5 crore cells in the body undergo a change and the mRNA enlarges. The RNA in the cell enlarges. So there is a positive impact of what you're doing. The second is word as a therapeutic factor. So here the scientists have shown that word itself can be used as a therapy, as a therapeutic factor. Similarly, Gayatri Mantra was developed traditionally in India. So it's a traditional mantra. It's not actually a religious one, because what is the meaning of Gayatri Mantra? It means that just like the sun burns itself and gives energy to everyone, but it takes its energy when the universe was formed from the black hole or the source, but it is burning and giving that energy to everyone. Similarly, let me have that same intellect, let me have that same kind of nature, that I will also burn for others. Whatever I have got, I will not just use it for my own consumption. मी माझ्या स्वतःसाठी नाही वापरणार, तर मी सर्वांसाठी ते वापरेन. I will give it to others also. So if you have faith in that, if you do that chanting of Gayatri Mantra 108 times every day, you can put water in front of it, like Tirtha, what we call. Water also has memory. So that will also help in brain development, because it's a mantra about buddhi or intellect development. The next is flashing pyramid, which I have already spoken about. That will help in, you can use it in many ways for different brain wave frequencies. To develop concentration, you can use beta waves. For developing learning, you can use alpha wave. You can set the frequency of that flashing pyramid and it will flash like I showed you. This is the flash. There are different colors also according to the temperament: fear, anger, and rage. If you are more fearful, then you should use the red color. म्हणजे भीती जास्त असेल तर, भय जास्त असेल तर लाल रंग आहे. राग असेल, anger, then you have to use green color. And if there is courage or peace, म्हणजे धैर्य किंवा शांती असेल तर निळा रंग वापरायचा. त्याची उघड झाप होते, म्हणजे ऑन ऑफ होतो तो लाईट, आणि त्याच्याबरोबर ती ट्यून पण येते. तर तो आपल्याला हेल्प करतो ती पर्टिक्युलर फ्रिक्वेन्सी आपल्या मेंदूमध्ये बिल्ड करायला. आपल्या in our brain that particular frequency is induced, and if it is less, then it's necessary for the child that gets induced. Okay, so all these activities you can do by yourself, but what happens is why you should come to Manashakti if you can do it at your home, because the importance of Manashakti's environment is also very important. Because in Manashakti, what you can do, you can conduct tests, mind training tests at Mind Gym. 1 day, 2 day workshops are there. These can be customized for your students, whoever they are there. If you want, we can do a 1 day workshop, 2 day workshop, and we have all the arrangements here also. It's a good environment, just like an ashram environment, where there is self-service and so on. So that also children can learn. And mind training activities and reports are there. So technology is there, science is there, mind experience section is there. There we can have machine demos or some tests can be there. We can also conduct for every individual. There can be some guidance and counseling based on those tests. For example, there is a depression, anxiety, stress test. नैराश्य, चिंता आणि ताण अशी चाचणी आहे. Or there is a color personality test. Based on the color you choose, your inner strengths and weaknesses can be found out, and those reports can be given so that you can observe how is the improvement in that person. There can be some outdoor activities, so we do it as a workshop. There are outdoor activities for leadership and team building. There are games, there is a trekking also, or there can be a yoga session also for relaxation in nature. That is also very important these days. There is an inspirational show at Mind Gym which helps in building the value of love for the nation. म्हणजे देशप्रेमाची जी भावना आहे ती बिल्ड करण्याची याच्यामध्ये त्याच्यामध्ये त्याचा उद्देश आहे. बिकॉज लव्ह इज वन इमोशन, बट हाऊ डू वी टेक इट टू द नेक्स्ट स्टेज? Love for the nation is very important. That should be induced at a young age. If the child has that from a young age, then he will do something great in his or her life. Even we should have that. So for that, there is an inspirational show, and we can take 1 or 2 lectures. If it's a 1 day workshop, we'll take a 1 day lecture. Or if it's a 2 day workshop, we can take a 2 day lecture also at Mind Gym. And topics can be study methods like what we have seen currently, even more personality development, effective teaching, good parenting, meditation, stress management, jealousy hazards. All these topics we can take 1 or 2 lectures on them, and then we can do a customized workshop according to the schedule that is mutually convenient to you and Manashakti. So if you need these details, you can contact Manashakti on the Mind Gym phone number, which is 93097-79296. I will put it in the chat section, or I will put it here itself. My name is Sukrut and I use this number for this management. So this is the number. If you are interested in getting more details about these, we have a PPT about this, all these things, and we can share the PDF of those PPTs and the different links to you. All the charges and everything, whatever facilities are there, everything is given in those PPTs. We can share that with you, because there is a food and stay arrangement and everything is there. So there are some charges also involved. So if you are interested in this, you can send a WhatsApp message on this number, or you can directly visit Mind Gym at any point of time. From 9:30 to 6, it's open every day. And it takes around 4 hours to go through all the Mind Gym activities, 4 to 5 hours for a family. So you can visit any day. You are always welcome. So, so that takes me to the end of this session. I've covered the science of brain waves, science of the mind and the brain, and we have gone through some remedies that you can try at your home, some simple remedies that you can immediately start off with. For more information and more such videos and all, you can also go through Manashakti's YouTube channel. So there we have put some like prayers and all also, like Prakash Prarthana and all. So you can just go to the YouTube channel and play those prayers and go through those and start practicing, because that's the most important thing that we want to get out of this particular session. Is if you can start off with just any one thing, any one remedy out of all those that we have enlisted, you will see the results, but you have to do it for 90 days without fail. Okay, so I will give you my best of luck for that, and I will give my regards to SR Dalvi Foundation for giving us the opportunity for taking this session. I hope this was a useful session for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Indeed, it was such an interesting session. And खरं सांगायला गेलं तर मनशक्ती केंद्र is one stop solution for a healthy livelihood. म्हणजे let it be a child who's yet not come into this world. The idea of child till the person is getting old, is going to be reaching the last stage of his life. Manashakti gives you solutions, gives you options to a healthy living. So I would surely urge and suggest all of you all, आता ऑनलाईन नाही तर कधीही जमलं तर नक्कीच तिकडे मनशक्ती केंद्राला कधी व्हिजिट करा. इट इज an enriching experience to really go and just be there. Like that one day experience is gonna be once in a lifetime moment for you. And thank you so much, sir. I'm really, there's so much and such rich learning that we're all taking back today from today's session. Thank you so much for being a part.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. आणि SR Dalvi Foundation is a foundation that we work for teachers. It's a not for profit organization. आम्ही totally and purely we work for teacher empowerment and teacher welfare. And we, in case if any of you are also experts in your particular fields and would like to share your knowledge with the other teachers, नक्कीच आम्हाला कळवा. We'll be more than happy to have you as our next speaker. And do check out the next events on our website. आणि तुम्ही ज्या लिंकनी आजसाठी तुम्ही रजिस्टर केल्या आजच्या इव्हेंटसाठी, तुम्ही त्या सेम लिंकवर गेला तर बाकीच्या इव्हेंटचे डिटेल्स पण तिकडेच आहेत, तर तुम्ही नक्की जॉईन करू शकता. ऍट द सेम टाइम आम्ही आता चॅटबॉक्समध्ये एक फीडबॅक फॉर्मचे लिंक पाठवलंय, तर प्लीज ते फीडबॅक फॉर्म भरा आणि तुमचं फुल नेम अँड डू आय मीन अबाउट द ट्रेनर, द फॅसिलिटेटर बद्दल पण एक फीडबॅक आहे, तर नक्कीच ते द्या. विल बी मोर दॅन हॅपी टू बी शेअरिंग दॅट विथ सर. अँड तर एकदा तुम्ही तुमचं फुल नेम आणि इन्स्टिट्यूशन बाकीचे डिटेल्स फिल केलात की 2 दिवसात आम्ही तुम्हाला सर्टिफिकेट पाठवू. बट सर्टिफिकेट तुमच्यापर्यंत पोहोचण्यासाठी प्लीज टीचर टॉक ॲप डाउनलोड करा. त्याच्यात काय प्रोसेस आहे ते सगळं डिटेल्स तुम्हाला मेसेजेस आणि मेल्सवर नक्कीच मिळतील. तर थँक्यू सो मच अँड वी होप टू सी यू फॉर टुमॉरो सेशन. टुमॉरो सेशन इज ॲट 5 o'clock. 5 वाजता आहे. आणि इन केस इफ यू कॅन रजिस्टर राईट अवे using the same link, or you can visit srdalvifoundation.com and त्याच्यात तुम्ही रजिस्टर करू शकता. उद्याचं सेशन आहे सेट अ शेड्यूल. ॲज टीचर्स अँड नाव दॅट एव्हरीथिंग इज गोइंग ऑफलाईन, तर ऑनलाईन टू ऑफलाईन जाताना परत आपल्या शेड्यूल्स कुठे ना कुठे गेट्स कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड. सो हाऊ डू यू सेट युअर शेड्यूल, नॉट फॉर युअर सेल्फ बट फॉर युअर स्टुडंट्स एज वेल, त्याच्यावर आहे उद्याचं सेशन. परवाचं सेशन is on art integrated learning, again an important topic that NEP is focusing right now. You can surely join for the same. So thank you so much for all the participants, and Sukrut sir, again thank you so much for all your support. Thank you.